Sharon, ShareAlike, yeah!
Hi guys, I had a lot of people ask me how I make my thong girdle that I showed you in my hip and pads tutorial. So I wanted to show you that today. The first thing that I do is I buy this girdle. It's a body shaper that I get at Walmart, and it's like $16. I got the ticket here. It's like $16. It's made by Cupid, and you can also get it online. It's a little easier actually to get it online to get your size. This comes in a medium, a large, an extra large, and a 2X. And I'm about 135 pounds and maybe like 5 foot 6 inches, 7 inches tall. And I wear the size large, so that kind of gives you an idea of what size you need to get. But the scariest part is what we're gonna do first, and that is cutting the girdle. And I know you don't wanna screw it up because you spent your $16 on it, but we gotta start somewhere. So now we're gonna cut the girdle. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice about this girdle is that it has legs, and it's not gonna have legs when we're done by the time we turn it into a thong. But I like to keep this bottom part of the leg. It's got that rubber on it, and it's kinda good for hair bands because it doesn't slip on your head. So anyway, I'm gonna cut that bottom part off and we'll use that for hair bands. You know, you gotta use everything. So we'll get that bottom part cut off. All right, now this is where it starts getting scary. We're going to cut where the seams are. Now you notice on this particular girdle, there are seams. This is the front, and see right here, there's a seam that's going around here. And we're gonna cut that seam because we don't need that part. I'm basically just opening the girdle up so that we can get it cut into our thong shape. And I really like the thong shape because if you watch the hip and pads video, you're gonna see that that's really what gives you like a butt crack, and it doesn't make you look like you have a flat butt. By the time you get all your tights on and stuff, a lot of times it looks like you got a really flat butt. Okay, now we're also gonna cut this seam, which is along the back of the girdle. This will start making sense as we go along. All right, we're cutting that seam. Once again, you can order these online at Walmart, and if you'll go, just put in Cupid in like body shape wear or girdles. This is the style 5369. So that's gonna help you to search and find it. It's Cupid 5369. Now this one's actually an extra large. The only one they had at the store, so. All right, so now that we've got that cut, we can fold this sideways. All right, so there we have it folded sideways. I'm lining things up. And this is gonna help us get an even cut on both sides. So here's the front, here's the back. This is gonna be the very bottom, and this is the crotch in the front. Now a good rule of thumb, it's hard to know how high to cut in order to make your thong. So I found a good rule of thumb is if I go from here to here and cut it at about in half. That's how high I want to go up. So we're going to cut that now. And in the back, when you have a thong, you're just going to cut right along that edge. And then we're going to cut around here and down because we want this front part to be a little bit wider. You don't want a thong in the front or you'll have like a huge camel toe. Not cute. Okay, here we go. Let's cut this. It's the scary part. There goes your $16. All right, take this down. And there we have it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is cut off this part here because we just want this to be flat. Cut that off. Now I want this to be as wide as this. So I'm going to slide this up until these are the same width. And then I'm going to cut off that front part. And now we can sew these together, and that's going to be the part that's right under in between your legs down at the crotch. So now we're going to go over to the sewing machine, the serger, and we're going to sew those together. Alright, so what I did was I turned the girdle inside out, and now here's that back part, and then here's the front side of the front part of the crotch. And we're going to put these together, and then I'm going to serge that. If you don't have a serger, you could also use the zigzag on your sewing machine. I want to make sure I get these lined up good. That looks pretty good. Okay, here we go. Up, it slid. Darn it. There. It's a slippery sucker. Alright, so that's all we need to do to sew the crotch together. And then the next thing that we're going to do is serge some elastic all the way around these leg bands. So now we're going to start on the inside of the girdle, and we're going to sew elastic on. We're serging this elastic. Now once again, if you don't have a serger, you could maybe even skip this step and we'll just go right to the zigzag on the next step, but I like serging this on. So we're going to start down at the bottom of the crotch, and this elastic is probably like, I think it was like 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch. It's not very wide. You can also use the beige elastic if you can find it. They just happen to have white at the store when I went and bought this. So I'm not really stretching the elastic very much, maybe just a little bit as I'm serging this on. And remember, you know how you always get confused, like which side, you know, do you sew it on the inside or on the outside? We're serging, this is the inside of the girdle, and we're putting the elastic on the inside surface of the girdle, and we're serging it. And we're gonna go all the way around both legs. And I wanna get all the way around so I can show you how we're gonna finish one off, and then I'll do the other one. I was real happy with you guys checking out the hip and pads video. We got tons of views on that, so it must be something that you're interested in. I'll try to do some more stuff like that. Okay, we're almost there. Now you can see it's coming around where I already sewed it on. And I'm just going to overlap it. I'll probably I'll overlap it about maybe 1 inch. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to sew right off of that. And then I can cut that elastic and the thread. And then I'm going to sew the other side on, and then we're going to go to the regular sewing machine and we're just going to sew a zigzag stitch on it. So now I'm just going to zigzag, and what I'm doing is I'm just zigzagging. You see the elastic under there? I just turn that over, and then I'm going to zigzag all along there, and that way it'll keep that turned in so that you won't ever see that elastic again. You can also kind of stretch it a little bit while you're zigzagging. You want to use a thread that kind of matches your girdle. I mean, you're not really ever going to see this, but I don't know. Kind of want it to match. The nice thing about a zigzag stitch is it stretches, so that way it won't rip whenever you're pulling it really tight. Trying to get those really good butt cheeks. Alright, we're almost all the way around. You can see this doesn't really take very long. You just have to have some courage when you're going to cut that girdle. It's kind of scary the first time. I screwed up a couple of them, I have to admit. You'll probably have to do some trial and error. Alright, we're almost there. And now we met back up. There's our zigzag. I'm going to do a back stitch to set that. And then I'm just going to do the same thing then on the other side, and then we'll be back at the work table. So this is what we ended up with. It looks a lot different than what we started with. This is the front. You can see we did the zigzag along this edge to finish it off, and we got the elastic band in there. And that zigzag allows it to stretch really far. This is the front, and then this is the back, so you've got your thong going up. And then this is what's going to help you to get a really nice like butt cheek action going on with your hip pads. So I hope that this helped you to learn how to turn a girdle into a thong. It holds your tummy in, and it gives you a really nice butt crack. I'll see y'all again soon. Take care.
ShareAlike, yeah!
Don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.